All right, hey, nice shout today. Coming out focused. It was crisp, good physicality. Listen, be smart tonight. Be smart tomorrow. Start resting up, taking care of your body. We get into mock game week next week. Get your minds right for that. Y'all got me? We'll see you at Tuesday, 8 a.m. team meeting. Pat P, where you at?
Good to go, baby. Everybody up. Real quick, the camp's over. It's hot outside, man, but I got everybody some ice cream outside on me. Hey, Cardinals on 3. 1, 2, 3. Cardinals.
That's perfect. Getting number 16 behind me is fun. I've never been a big fan of training camp, but I think it was good. We had a good time. Everybody got better, and that's what it's all about.
You look forward to going to Minnesota this week and play on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad the game is at noon. Yeah, that's the best part about it. Yeah.
How is this training camp different than years past for you?
No, training camp's pretty much the same every year. It's monotonous. You spend a lot of time, on ball and, from sun up to sundown. So it's pretty much the same.
Who are some of the guys that impress you the most?
Been quite a few guys. I mean, Chase has looked really good. I'm really happy with, Sweezy's been looking real good. And, having DJ Swearinger back again and DJ Foster back. I mean, it's been good to have a lot of guys back in the fold, and guys been working hard.
This has been probably the most fresh I've ever felt during training camp. Body feels great. Mind feels great. Kliff has done a great job of keeping us, relaxed, and when we have our downtime, guys are making sure that they're doing everything they can to keep their body fresh. And especially as an offense, I feel like everyone's learning the offense really well. Kyler knows it already, so it's going to be very good for us once the real season comes around. I think it's the schedule. The way he constructs daily things, practice, the downtime, even the snacks. Even the 5-minute, break that we get, just really being able to utilize all of the, the things that Kliff does for us. Because, I mean, we were always talking about, all of us were talking about how great it's been. I think, you can ask Fitz, his body probably feels great, even though, he's this far in his career. And Kliff has done a great job of doing that.
Chris had a great camp. Brandon's coming back off his back surgery really well. We have the guys. I think we have the guys in our group that can pick up the slack until I get back at least. But if we have to pick up someone, I'm quite sure, Steve and Coach Vance and Kliff will do whatever we need to do to help this team become better outside.
From a personal standpoint, how devastating was it to see Robert go down?
It was very devastating because he had a great camp. Definitely was going to be a player that could help us immediately. Great size, physicality. I mean, he had it all. He's a great all-around corner that's going to be missed for however long he's going to miss. Hopefully we can get him back this season. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. But if not, we have to continue to make sure that we get the guys that were behind him and that's here ready to play.
Surrounding Kyler and his clapping.
That's something that Coach Kingsbury, kind of has to deal with the league and just sending clips in to see how we're going to be doing it throughout the season. And so that's kind of out of my control. But I know that's what we're going to do, and whatever way they let us do it, we're going to do it.
You think it's fair? It seems like the refs are treating it like a judgment call at times. Like one ref will call it one way, one will tell you guys a different thing.
Yeah, well, they use preseason to kind of set an example, work out the kinks. So I'm sure they'll go back, review it, and then, come out with a set in stone rule on what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do during the season.
Statistically, didn't have a great night against Oakland. How do you feel he bounced back?
I think he bounced back good. He doesn't really waver much in his approach. He's going to approach, this offense and, what he does the same way every day. And so I think it was just coming in, making sure we're having a positive attitude because, things like that are going to happen during the season. He's a rookie. I experienced it last year. We all did. Us young guys experienced it. So that's just, us communicating to them like, hey, these things are going to happen. We just got to come in the next day, the next work week, and pick up and get on a positive note.
Can you guys take on a game like that where the offense kind of struggled those first 4 drives?
Yeah, execution. I think that was the biggest thing. Penalties. When you look behind it, when you look at it, with all the penalties that we had, we were putting ourselves in a hole, starting 3rd and 17, 3rd and 23, and when you do that, it's really hard to be successful. So I think the thing is staying in front of the chains and, just executing and, not having those penalties.
What do you make of Andy's touchdown once he finally got out there?
I told him all week, every time, whenever he got in, to just run past whoever he's aligned against. So that's exactly what he did. He had 2 shots early that didn't come to him, and I just told him every time he came to the sideline, just keep running. They're going to find you. And Chad found him, and, he made those catches, and that's what he's been doing all camp. So excited for him.
Did you hear the Raiders players that called this a pretty boy offense?
No, I did not hear that.
I mean, just what is your reaction to somebody saying something?
I mean, it is what it is. Just because we don't line up with 2 tight ends and run the ball, I mean, I guess we're pretty boys now, but, I guess we'll have to show how pretty we are this season.
Get a T-shirt.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, does that bug you that guys, just because you guys are doing something different, I mean, people seem to react to it?
It's just because we're doing something different. That's it. Everybody wants to speculate and come up with a name, for it, since we're doing something different, but it is what it is.
When you're keeping it vanilla on offense, and the Raiders' defense definitely was not, how much of a mistake is it to read too much into that Thursday night game?
I would say it's a mistake. We were as basic as it gets, for our offense, and but it's good for us to see stuff like that, see those blitzes, and for them to kind of come at us, So if we can, get our fundamentals down and do our basic stuff and have success against that, then when we really get into, the stuff that we're going to be doing game plan wise, for the season, it just helps a lot.
Chris, not a lot of regulars play in that final preseason game. So how important will the Viking game be for you guys as a final dress rehearsal to go out there and try to put something together?
I think it will be important for us, because we're actually going to get into a mock, game prep week and, be able to get a week worth of prep down, and, Kyler will be able to go through, installing and game planning for a defense, doing film breakdown and stuff like that. And so I think it'll be good for us, to get that, out of our system, get into a groove, so then when week 1 comes around, we're able to get into that and, know what we're supposed to do.
What do you think of training camp at State Farm Stadium?
It's a great setup. I think Michael has really set the bar high as far as, easy to use and functionality and getting around, and I thought our players handled themselves well.
Is it good to get back now to Tempe to head back that direction?
No question. I think we're all anxious to get in a routine, and we'll start our mock game week on Tuesday and go from there.
What were some of the things you really, really liked about what you saw from your players during camp?
I think just their understanding of what we're trying to accomplish, in all 3 phases. Trying to get better every day. They understood, the games, not game planning as much the first couple and not trying to show too much. But after the last one, I noticed that, practice has improved this week, and we got to be able to execute whatever is called. And that was kind of the theme this week, and I like that they took to that.
Is that just a pride thing sometimes, when they want to show out better than they did?
Always, if you're a competitor, it's about doing your job and executing at a high level regardless of what's called.
What's been the message since Thursday's game? What's
Just what I said, yeah. It's about executing whatever is called at the highest level, and, there's no excuses.
Are you surprised that you've heard some, maybe you haven't heard, but there's been some criticism of the offense, and it is only preseason. Does that strike you a little?
No, that's part of the deal. It comes with the territory. Yeah, that's the NFL.
What are some of the players that really stood out in camp and really helped their situation?
I think a guy who just keeps getting better and has had some extra reps thrust upon him, Zach Allen. He continues to show up from where he started in the spring and now. He's come a long way, and we're going to be counting on him there inside. Keyshawn Johnson continues to make a push for a young guy. Really like what I've seen there. And then Chase Edmonds at running back, I kind of hit on it in the spring, but just kind of a do-it-all guy, whether it's special teams or catching the ball to the backfield or, running the football, he can kind of do it all.
You talked in the spring about not knowing what this offense would look like when you hit the regular season. Are you pretty sure now what it might look like?
I do, yeah. I like how it's come along, and so we'll continue to work to get better for week 1, but I like the pieces that are in place.
Was there a certain point when you started feeling comfortable about what you had and what could work?
Yeah, I think throughout training camp, just, I had a feel for it in the spring, and then throughout training camp, just getting around the guys and getting some bodies back at different positions has helped. And like I said, we'll continue to work on it.
When it comes to Andy, does he need to show a lot of moves on his routes if he's that fast and just blow by a guy? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, when you're that fast, it's an art to being able to get out of cuts and break down and do different things at a high level, and he's working through all those things. In college, he could dominate with speed, and he knows that. And here, you got to have some savviness in your route tree, and he's working through that. But when he takes off, y'all can see it, he can really, really run, and that's going to put people on his heels, but he's got to take advantage of that.
Coach, what's been the biggest difference in perspective from training camp at college level to here in the pros?
I think it's just all football. Yeah, it's all football all day. There's no class requirements. There's no worrying about anything, 4-hour rule. It's just you got them all day, and you're just all trying to get better at football the entire day.
Can you speak to the support you've got from upstairs and even player-wise when it comes to knowing you're going to have time to get in here and do what you're here to do?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody in the NFL, doesn't think that you can't get fired at any time. I think that's part of the profession. You have to perform, and every player in that locker room knows that. Every coach in those meeting rooms understands that. So that's just kind of the unwritten rule.
How often do you find yourself watching film and tweaking things on the fly, just kind of off the cuff?
Yeah, all the time. I think that's, this offense, when we get rolling, there's a lot of flexibility to it, and being able to do things that fit your personnel. Even if you haven't done them before, you can plug it in and, build it around certain guys, and that's what we try to do.
Brandon Williams is just getting back out there, but is an opportunity presenting itself for him, knowing the cornerback situations?
There's obviously, spots to be had. He's got to go take them, but he's athletic. He did a great job on special teams last year, and he missed some time, so he's trying to catch up on that learning curve. But, I would say there's a great opportunity for him.